Hey guys, Bubba here. Hey, did you guys in the Northeast survive Winter Storm Kenan? What you're looking at here is drone footage of a house nearly falling into the ocean at Ballston Beach, Massachusetts, after this big round of coastal erosion from this weekend's bomb cyclone. This house survived high tide last night, but as you can see, 6 new pylons have been exposed. But guys, they actually had fun in New York City. A snowball fight broke out yesterday afternoon, and people were gathered all around having fun in the snow. Places in New York here that we're going to see in a minute, Islip had a record. They had lots of records actually broken, and this was the initial scenario going in. The people were thinking they're going to get 20 to 30 inches plus, and what actually happened was the banding didn't set up right. And while places still got 24, 26 inches, it wasn't as widespread as many people thought. But Islip, New York, right there, they had their 4th snowiest winter snow event ever. But guys, they're starting to paint a new picture coming up here for the Midwest and down into the southern plains into Texas, as a big, huge ice and snowstorm is going to get rocking this week, middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is one model, and this is another. The first one was the GFS. This one is a Canadian. And I'm going to go into it more here, but it's hitting home here to me because they're already starting to talk about alert days are being issued. Rain Tuesday, Wednesday, winter snow, Friday, bitter cold. And Indiana, where I live, is central Indiana. This is a great picture from a couple weeks ago. There was a heart, as we've been missing all the snow. And we just finished up Winter Storm Kenan, but guess who's next? Landon. Let's find out.
Yes, another weekend event. It all starts here, Oklahoma, Texas. Yes, we do see some blue on the map. That is your snow, but unfortunately, we're worried about the icy precipitation as well, not just there, but across the Ohio Valley as well. And this is why we've got some warm air that comes in with that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. So even Chicago might start off with rain. Even Detroit starts off with rain, Toledo, Ohio. But then we have that freezing air that comes down, especially at the surface. And that's why we're concerned about, an icy event for Dallas. Watching Mountain Home in Arkansas, St. Louis, you could have a bit of ice accretion, and then on top of that, the snow. And then eventually our storm does end up in the Northeast Friday into Saturday. So we're watching the models very closely, the comparison. We just looked at the American. Here's the European, developing a low to the lee of the Rockies and diving southward. This one goes a little more south. It meets up with that moisture, and voila, you get that freezing rain and snow variety from the Lone Star State eventually into the Northeast as we head toward the end of the week. Euro wants to give a good deal of snow to the Northeast, including the megalopolis. The American wants to give more for the interior sections, not so much for the 95 corridor. So we still have to work that out.
Oh, there's definitely lots to work out as the models change, but they're showing upwards of 2 to 3 feet of heavy wet snow in central Indiana, Ohio. And guys, this will be possible. What I'm going to show here is, actually her maps were a lot better from the Weather Channel, but I just wanted you to see how deep this thing gets. This one right here is the GFS, and I'm going to show the Canadian here in a second. This is the Canadian as it's popping through, and the Canadian doesn't have as many models, but I want you to see how there's 2 waves coming through, and the GFS picks up on this as well that we're going to see in a minute. But I want you to see the moisture available. This is the global forecasting system, the North American GFS model, showing plenty of moisture, way over 2 inches over the next 7 to 10 days. Everything in that pink is over 2 inches, and if you put that to snow, at a bare minimum of a 10-to-1 ratio, you're talking 20 inches plus. What you're seeing here is the first modeling that's coming in, showing the banding as it's setting up. And I'm going to go in a little closer here on this Canadian model so you can see how this starts to set up. And the Canadian model does not go as far out as the GFS. And these models will continue to change. What's going to happen first is it's going to be a heavy wet rain, of course, before it changes over into a heavy wet snow as the cold air moves into place. And then it turns from a heavy wet snow into a blustery winter wonderland as the winds kick up and this turns to a dry snow. So it's going to be very dangerous. As all that rain, all that heavy wet snow that's melting is going to freeze. The snow is going to fall on top of it. And as you guys know as well as I do, the snow on top of the ice is not a good situation at all, because it will be blocked and you won't see the traction below you as your feet go out underneath you. I want you to see this here. We're going to tie down into the southern states here, into Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas. They're showing snow, heavy wet snow, but also this model is not picking up on a mega ice storm. that's going to be building up probably from Dallas, Little Rock, St. Louis, Louisville, Columbus, Ohio possible. This is all the different kinds of changes, and there's definitely going to be enough moisture in the air that's going to bring about all this nastiness. I'm going to show this here as we go into the future model. Here, this one again is the GFS, and I wanted you to see this as we get a little closer. And what this is showing is the 24-hour snow totals as these systems move through. So I want you to see as each system comes through, the Ohio Valley looks like it just began its winter. All the snow, like I showed you in the heart, has been going all around central Indiana, Illinois, which we're having record low amounts of snow for this year. It's absolutely, truly insane. Here, I want to get this closer here so you guys can start seeing what the GFS is putting down for the everywhere from Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, western Tennessee, northern Arkansas, Indiana, northern Kentucky. Just heavy, copious amounts of heavy wet snow. And as you saw at the very end, another system's building that's going to bring another mega snowstorm right in time for Valentine's Day. There's going to be lots of love being shown around with the snowstorms coming in as people are going to be trapped at home. So if you need to start making your French toast, you better start making your way to the store now. It seems like everyone wants to buy the bread and the milk and the eggs. So stay tuned, guys. I'll keep you in tuned, but keep you informed, but it's going to be nuts. Stay tuned.